historic 3 days take place where 18 churches have unified together for the sake of the gospel. It's no longer been about one building or one church, but we've seen the churches come together for such a time as this. And on the very day that Roe versus Wade was overturned, we hosted a gospel event. And I want to tell you that that is something that only God could have planned. That is something that only God could have set in place. And over these 3 days, we have seen a building up, a breakthrough, and of His presence on the field at Maritime Park. We have seen people come to know Jesus that knew nothing about Him before. We saw chains broken. We saw deliverance. We saw healings. And the greatest miracle of all is salvations that we've seen. People weeping in the presence of God, deciding to follow Him and to never turn back again. It was so beautiful. Tonight was our last night at Maritime Park. And little did we know what God had in store for us tonight, because we got rained out at Maritime Park, and 2 hours after the event was supposed to start, we decided to shift with the Lord, because we got to shift when the Lord asks us to shift. So we shifted and we all gathered together at House of Prayer for All Nations, and this place was filled with people who were hungry for the Lord, who were willing to persevere. And on my way over to the church to minister tonight and to just worship the Lord, I was just asking the Lord, what do you want to do tonight? What is it that you are wanting to do? Because I just need to hear your voice. And the Lord said to me, when I pour out my spirit, when I move, it will be with a remnant who is willing to persevere. And that is what we did on the last night. We persevered. We pressed in with a hunger and a desperation. And we saw people set free here tonight. We saw 8 people baptized here tonight. And it's just the beginning. This is just the beginning of what God's wanting to do, not only in Pensacola, Florida, but in America as a whole. So coming up, we are going to have a next city, and Gospel Invasion is going to go to a new city here in just several months. We will be releasing the dates of that, because now is the time for the gospel. The Bible tells us not to look up and say that the harvest is in 4 months from now, but to look up, because the harvest is now. The harvest is plentiful now, and the Lord is asking for laborers to thrust forth into the harvest. He's asking for those who will say, yes, I will go. And so there is an invitation for us to partner with Him in a greater way in these last hours, these last days that we are living in. Because the Bible tells us that night is coming, we must labor while it is still day. So if we will link arms with Him, if we're willing to labor, if we're willing to just say yes, He'll do the rest. So we would love for you to join us at gospel events in the future. Stay tuned at our page, and we will be updating all of you guys on how you can partner in future gospel invasions. And together as one body, we will see Jesus rule and reign over America.
Tuvimos un evento tan poderoso aquí en Pensacola, donde hemos visto a las iglesias unirse para traer las almas a Cristo. Les invitamos que no se pierdan lo que Dios está haciendo aquí en Pensacola, que no se pierdan lo que Dios está haciendo en las iglesias aquí. Él se está moviendo. Entonces yo les invito a que vengan a ver lo que Dios está haciendo aquí.